Hi, I'm Andrea McIntosh, Principal Consultant here at Leadership Through Data, and I'm really excited today to have Jaki in the hot seat to talk with both Rachel and I about her book.
And I'm Rachel Mitchell, and me and Andrea are going to be questioning today Jacqueline Stockwell all about her new book. So welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. I'm Jacqueline Stockwell. I'm an award-winning dyslexic entrepreneur, and my main focus is to empower information leaders across the world to have their messages heard and to focus on personal and professional development. And that is what my book is about.
Well, I was actually going to ask you, Jackie, what does empower mean to you? So as in, how did you get the theme for the book, and then how have you constructed the book around that theme?
So I first started looking at leadership through data products. So as we've progressed as a company, we've started to add more and more product lines to fit with what our customers want. Now, looking at all of the product lines, it's like skills, it's records management, it's business classification, it's Microsoft here, and that's great. And what I wanted to do is bring it into one framework. So I've created the information leader flower. Now, the flower is different coloured petals, of course, and when you look at the flower, you can see the leadership through data colours within that flower. Now, on the outer flower, that focuses on the technology aspects, the data ethics, and then it moves within the flower. And right at the heart of the flower, so where all the pollen is for the bees, that's the person in the centre. Created from there was the flower. Now, looking at that, as information leaders, we have so many things that we need to be doing. We need to be thinking about compliance and risk and our own professional profile, because how do we sell those messages in the business? So I was thinking, like, well, this flower is wonderful, but I can't go out and sell the flower or get people to buy into the flower. I need to find something that would empower from the flower. So basically then came with the empower. So I do empower information leaders across the world, and I have been told routinely that I inspire and I have a natural energy that people kind of embrace, and it makes them feel good. So that to me, what is empower? You're empowered to do something, you want to drive, you want to make a difference, so empower. So that's kind of where I got to the empower framework. Now, the book conceptually was built from the flower and empower. So empower stands for engagement, management, process, oversight, workforce, excellence, and resources. Now, within that framework, I've then built the book as a blueprint. So the book is there for any new professional or any professional that wants to upskill or any professional that thinks, I want to test where I am right now against compliance or against a framework. So that's where the Empower framework comes into play. Now, alongside that, I wish I had this as an information leader started, because I moved from complaints management straight into information governance. Now, I got that job because of my natural energy, my desire to think differently, and to bring something to the organisation that they hadn't had before. So I got my job on the will rather than the skill. And I talk about that within the book, and what that is for information leaders. And I had a mentor. And then from that mentor, I'm thinking, well, I need groups, I need access. Like, what training course do I need to go on first? Do I need to do freedom of information? Do I need to do records management? Do I need to do like subject access requests? And all those wide range of things. And it can be quite overwhelming, especially if you're new into the profession. And then it was like, well, if I had a book, if I had a tool or had something that would work me through a methodical framework, I built the scorecard. The scorecard will assess you against the Empower framework and give you a percentage. You can actually identify where your gaps are. It's your matrix of the things that you need to focus on. Now, we all talk about compliance because that is our job. But also, where are we as people? We are people trying to deliver a job, and it's a big job and it's a tough job. Organisations have deployed Microsoft, and we're now thinking, well, I've got no information architecture, I've got information sprawl, I've got, documents I need to classify, and how do I link this with this? And that, like, even talking about it, I feel like, whoa. So that was kind of the methodology behind the book. And the one thing that I strive to empower people across the world is to tell stories. So when I was an information leader, it was like carrot and stick, or, you know, we're going to get fined against GDPR if we don't do this, but it just doesn't work. Like, people are, you know, not engaging. We're not influencing with a carrot and stick. So how do we influence? So within the book, I talked about storytelling, but I've also flown through all the stories throughout the framework. So in engagement, I'm talking about sharks because I love sharks, but people are scared of sharks. There's a fear of sharks, but the concept behind that is people are scared of public speaking. So why don't you link the two together? And then management, we're talking about Invictus. I love rugby. So the New Zealand All Blacks come up in there in their red hat and their blue hat. But also, you know, that film is sensational when you look at management and leadership. You can work through it. There's book recommendations in there, and there's actually like take actions. I don't want to write a book that you read and put down. There's sections within each of the chapters that says take action now, go and look at this. So there's even pointers for like retention schedules across the world of ones that, you know, would be good to look at a cross-reference for. Yeah, and I could talk loads about it, Rachel. What else do you want to know about it?
So, Jackie, I'm just going to pick up on something that you said there around your natural energy, and that's something that I love you for, is your energy, and it's something that comes through quite strongly in the book as well. One of the things that I love about the book is that, you know, you're taking these frameworks and adding your natural energy to it, your storytelling, as you said, and then making it relevant for your experience and information management. The one thing that I mean, you said that you're an award-winning dyslexic CEO. So how hard was it for you to write a book? I imagine that would have been a bit of a challenge for you.
Oh, Andrea, you made me cry here. Yeah, so I am dyslexic. I wouldn't say I was heavily dyslexic, but I'm very dyslexic in terms of sentence structures. From a Word document, I just cannot put my words on the paper. I'll have them all in my head. Sounds wonderful. As soon as we get down, it comes into a chaotic mess. It was super difficult. However, somebody challenged me to write a book in 90 days, and I'm a very goal-orientated person, so I talk about goals within the book and how we can create personal and professional goals. And I thought, well, yeah, I could give that a go. They suggested a good framework that doesn't do the I'm staring at a blank document. It first talked about so it was called bookmagic.ai, and it talks about like, who are your readers? What are your values? How that formulates it. So you create the book before I even started writing the chapters and the topics. And that's kind of how I then created it. I think being dyslexic, I can be very hyper-focused. So as you know, it was a huge challenge for me to focus on the book but run the business at the same time. And that had its challenges. I think the biggest thing for me was when I got the track changes back from the publisher, and I was just overly consumed by red paint. The only way that I can describe it. But it's totally useful because it was all really good comments, but for me, kind of overwhelming. And then the second part was actually sending it out to like beta readers or to yourselves. That was very much like a bit of imposter syndrome, really. Is it good enough? Is my written work good enough? And I've struggled all my life in other roles because of my dyslexia and not having the support mechanisms in place. So there are some underlying things that I'm bringing with me. That was very, very much. And then sending out to the beta readers. So with you two, you kind of read it first and then went out to the beta readers. And I remember messaging Irina Winsley was one of the other first, beta readers, and she said she'd get back to me, and I was like, what did you think? So that is an amazing what I've got from it to empower themselves with the concepts that striving for all the time.
So I think as well, one of my passions is not speaking in legalese or not speaking in a convoluted way. And I think actually the beauty of the book is you don't mention information paradigm once, which is my pet hate words. And it's all really sort of digestible and it's friendly. And I think actually that's almost partly your dyslexia and how you construct sentences has meant it's really easy to read, which is really close to my heart, because I think it's really important that We can say really important things without using massively long words and convoluted sentences. So thank you for that, because it was so nice to read it.
I totally agree. And yeah, it's the kind of book also that, you know, you don't have to read cover to end. It's the kind of book that you can have on your desk, pick it up when you've got a moment, and it's almost like it's psychic. You turn a page and there's a take action that you just really need for that moment. So yeah, that's what I love about it as well. It's a pick up constantly book.
Beautiful. And we have, from my original beta readers, they actually said it was a couldn't put down book. So the concept that I've written it for a pick up when you need it on your desk as a takeaway. And we've even created at the back page some blank spaces where you can write your notes from the kind of book concept as well. So yeah, I'm thrilled that it's going to market very soon.
Yeah, well, we highly recommend it, don't we, Andrea? And thank you for taking us through it today, Jackie.
Absolutely.
Thank you.